How are we doing, Red Sox Nation? The Red Sox win a wild one in Toronto today, putting the finishing touches on a terrific road trip. We'll talk all about that and look forward to the upcoming homestand all this week on Red Sox Wrap 360.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
God bless America.
God bless America. Everybody's proud to be an American today.
That's right.
Got to come into something patriotic here. The 15-year remembrance of 9/11/01. We definitely have all the people that lost loved ones and lost their lives in our minds today, as well as all the first responders that were going into the building when everybody was running out, and all those who perished, and all those who still suffer from, complications from that day.
And thank you to everyone that is always protecting all of us and keeping this land free.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, what a way to open a show. I mean, patriotic feelings for America's team, the Boston Red Sox, put their finishing touches on a 6-3 road trip. Gotta love it. This is another edition of Red Sox Wrap 360. I'm Mike Conley alongside Michael Rippe. Two mics in the house tonight. How you doing, Mike?
Good. And you guys can find me on social media at Mike Rips, all over Twitter and Instagram.
Please hit them up on Twitter during the show. Let us know.
I mean, they got to hit up one
how
of
we're
us.
Doing. Yeah. This is our weekly discussion on all things Red Sox. So if you want to steer it in a different direction, you can do that. You can text him. You can hit us up on the YouTube chat room. We'll be looking at that, into that. But crazy game today, 11-8 in the Rogers Center. Big Papi David Ortiz with the deciding blow, hitting a 3-run bomb, his 32nd of the year that put the Sox up 10-8. His 535th career home run, passing Jimmy Fox.
Incredible.
I think that puts him where on the all-time list?
18th. Yep.
That's right. And the 3 ribbies, that's 110 ribbies.
So a record for him as well, yeah?
Well, a record for a 40-year-old.
Well, another record, yeah.
Beating Dave Winfield's 108 RBIs.
And he still has, 3 weeks to go to add to this new record?
He sure does.
What an incredible career and season by
one more year.
David Ortiz.
One more year. No, he's hanging them up.
Are we sure?
This dude's getting, surfboards and parkas this week, and $10,000 for his charity fund. So he's got to hang him up. But it was quite a barrage today. 2 other home runs. Hanram went deep today, as well as Jackie Bradley. Hanram's 23rd and Jackie Bradley's 24th. But you got to like these Red Sox, I mean, take 2 out of 3 from Toronto. A week ago, they were two games behind Toronto, and now they are 2 games ahead of Toronto.
Well, Toronto had a tough week. Boston's had a good week. So we've seen a little flip-flopping there. The AL East is tightening, though. So
bunching up.
And it's a big week ahead. We'll get to that later, but it's getting tight.
It's huge. And the way they do the schedules now, this is what makes it awesome, because the Red Sox from here on in play nobody but AL East teams.
Incredible.
It's fantastic. So it's very bunched up. I mean, we were kind of referring to the AL East early in the season as the black and blue division. We really thought there was going to be a bunch of teams in the playoff picture. And, one team we were hoping to stick a fork in by this time is the New York Yankees. Unfortunately, they have won 7 out of 8 and the hottest team in baseball. And they're only 4 back of the Red Sox right now. So, in fact, it's very bunched up in the AL East. You got the Red Sox, then you got Baltimore and Toronto 2 games back.
Tied with each other.
Yeah, and then you got the Yanks 4 games back.
Yep.
Everybody's in the wild card mix. So it's good. I mean, this is really the division, if you like races. I mean, you look at the Central. That's kind of Cleveland's got like a 6-game
7
lead.
games up right now.
Yeah.
They got that, and then out west you've got Texas with a 9-game lead over Houston. So if you're looking for contending races towards the end, you're looking at the AL East.
It's going to be fun baseball. I know football kicked off today. Okay. But listen, folks, there's still some very good Red Sox baseball that you should be a part of.
Yeah, any sports fan, and you know how we do in Massachusetts. The Patriots are playing now, but the Red Sox are in the thick of it. And September is such an exciting month as a baseball fan, as a sports fan.
Yeah. I love Star Drew. You tuning in with us live. You know, you just mentioned that he's one behind Mickey Mantle. So, you know, as should be in the hierarchy of great players in this game, it will soon be, you know, David Ortiz, Mickey Mantle, as well as it should be.
David Ortiz, where do we think he lands as far as how many more home runs can he hit this season?
Well, he's going to land somewhere between, he's going to overtake Mantle, but then Mike Schmidt's
Too far ahead.
too far. So he's going to wind up between Schmidt and Mantle.
Yeah, so Ortiz probably adds 3-4 more home runs this season.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say 6.
6.
Yeah.
I mean, because if he gets 6, then you're talking 38. He could get to 40 in his 40-year-old season. Incredible.
Be sick. So they've been, aside from today, they have been getting some good pitching today. Good pitching up until today. Today was kind of a bloodbath. Both teams combined for 6 home runs, 6 lead changes, and 18 pitches they used.
Well, both teams in this series, I mean, Toronto and Boston, are both made of a ton of just tremendous major league hitters. So a lot of power, a lot of offense to be expected between these two teams when they get together. And so I wasn't surprised to see the runs put up.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy. It would seem like we got Josh Donaldson at the right time. He kind of had a little 0 for 20 stretch that kind of carried this series, so that was great to see. And it's almost like his teammate might be splitting the votes with him as far as MVP votes, because Edwin Encarnacion, he went deep twice today. And so that I think that gives him like 39 bombs or something like that.
That's the thing. That's what I was saying about the hitters. I mean, you look down the lineups on both ends, and Toronto and Tulowitzki today with the grand slam. So you're looking at 2 offensive powerhouses, but Boston's lineup from top to bottom is something to really, really appreciate, because everyone can do something to you at the plate.
Absolutely. I mean, just look at their bottom 3 today. They Brock Holt was 1 for 2 with 2 runs scored, walked 3 times. Sandy Leone in the 8-hole was 1 for 3, the run, an RBI, and another walk. And then Jackie Bradley with his home run, his 24th of the year, 2 for 4.
And that's my point. Jackie Bradley's hitting 9th.
Right.
He's got 24 home runs.
He had crept as high as like 5 or 6 for a while, but then he was in a little bit of a lull.
Slump, yep.
So they put him back down to 9, and he's starting to come out of that. Hopefully we're going to get Xander Bogaerts out of his lull. He's dipped under 300. He's at 299 right now, but he had 2 hits
for 5 today. Yeah,
2 for 5. And he did have 2 hits and a home run on Friday night, too. So hopefully that guy's getting going, because coming into the series on the road trip, he was hitting 4 for 23 on the road trip. So that's not so good. So we got to get him going. Petey is scorching, just ridiculously. On the road trip, 18 for 38. So, and the guy's
good, right?
Oh yeah, that's pretty damn good. That's almost 500, and he's hitting over 450 since he was put in the leadoff spot. I mean, that kid just keeps raking. And Hanram today had an absolute seed to center field. I mean, and it was funny, like the stadium was still kind of echoing from Encarnacion's blast, you know, which was like exit velocity 104, 440 feet. So what does Hanram do before those, died down? You know, he leads off the inning with an absolute shot to center. Exit velocity 111, 444 feet. So I'll do you one better there. You can run around with your parrot on the arm, and I'll just hit a shot, and we'll win the game.
Well, Rogers Center is a great stadium when it gets rocking, and the fans are into it, and it's loud. And
that's what I hear.
So when you've got a good game, and the Blue Jays have been respectable now the last few years, so they've got the fans coming out, and when you've got a big series late in September, early September, it's exciting.
It's like it's 1992 again up there. Crazy. Oh,
Joe Carter.
Oh yeah. But the Clay Buchholz kind of got rocked today. It was unfortunate. Only went 3 innings, giving up 6 runs, all of them earned. And it's the old bugaboo coming back to hit him. Because it's the home runs, which he gave up 2 today, and the walks, and he walked 4 today. And it's like he was going so good before that when they put him back to the bullpen and he was getting spot starts. In his last 12 games, he was 3-1 with an ERA of 2.21. So coming into today, so he's not a lost cause, and he's somebody we're going to need because Stephen Wright, we're not sure about him. Speaking of guys injuring themselves when they slide back into a base, Brock Holt. And it reminded me of Stephen Wright, pinch running in L.A. Weeks ago. When Brock Holt did it today and he hurt his shoulder, I was like, oh, here we go again. But he ended up staying in the game long enough to try and steal home, and he was thrown out.
Stealing home.
I believe it would have been the first steal of home since Ellsbury in the Bronx a few years back. Oh, yeah. Gotta love it. So the Red Sox are playing good baseball. We say all the time that all about baseball is winning series. So today marks the Red Sox 4th straight win of a series. So, and that you just got to keep on keeping on doing that. And it's like different guys stepping up. It's like now that Bogey's not doing so good, and Poppy's obviously coming out of his slow time. Travis Shaw's looking to turn things around now. Once Moncada came up and kind of put the heat on him a little bit, he's hitting a lot better now. But
for me, it is about winning series, and the Red Sox have been doing that. It's not about the hitting, because I think the hitting is going to be there for the Sox. It's about the pitching,
right,
and the consistency throughout the 1 through 5, not just at the top.
Absolutely. So we love having Michael Rippe here with us this week. He won't be with us next week because obviously the Emmys are on. The Emmys help us keep the lights on in this place. You know that?
That's right. The Emmys do keep the lights on. And in the history of television, it's never been so funny, so dramatic, or so good. Think about the shows that are on this season. There's House of Cards, Modern Family, Downton Abbey, Game of Thrones. What else? Blackish. I love that show, though. Homeland, Better Call Saul, another one of my favorites. Veep, Transparent, Silicon Valley, which you could have caught me on that after show. Mr. Robot, Unbreakable, Kimmy Schmidt. I mean, really, there's a golden age of television right now. And oh yeah, don't forget The Americans, Transparent, and Master of None. And on Sunday, September 18th, television's greatest night is the biggest live event of the year. You can watch the show that celebrates great television, the Emmy Awards. There's no better night to watch the best of the best face off and see if your favorite shows win. Plus, you can see what everyone's wearing on the red carpet, who looks as hot in real life as they do on their shows. I know that's something I'm interested in. So be there when one of the funniest men on television, Jimmy Kimmel, he is one of the funniest men. He is funny. Hosts the Emmys live Sunday, September 18th, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific on ABC.
Yeah. Coincidentally, we are going to have to bump Matt Damon tonight as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So come back next week.
Matt Damon will not be appearing.
Hey, next week, Matty boy. Yes, you definitely got to tune in to the Emmys.
Absolutely.
Certainly right after Red Sox Rap 360. But it is a golden age of television, and how can you vote for just one of those terrific shows you would just mention?
Agreed. It is difficult, but I know what you can vote for, and that is Red Sox Rap 360 with Mike Conley.
Do it. Vote for it on iTunes.
And guys,
Monday morning when you're on the treadmill and you listen to the dulcet tones of Mike Rippe, boom. Give us a vote.
Give us a vote. Give us a 5-star. Leave a comment. Also, try to give instructions on how you can get Mike Conley a Twitter handle.
Whoa, man.
Trying to get you some help here.
That brings me to an interesting point. Dustin Pedroia, he hit in all games this weekend. So he's hitting 29 straight games versus the Toronto Blue Jays. All right? And that's the most of any Major League player of all time. Okay, he broke the record of 27 on Friday night by what former Red Sox player? If you know that, hit us up on the chat room on the YouTube, and if not, I'll tell you before we leave. But
got me thinking.
No social media is a hint.
Okay.
But the kid's hot. You gotta love it. Boom. And we were talking about who's turning the corner last week on the show, and this back end of the rotation really kind of step up.
Yep.
And it's Eduardo Rodriguez. He had like a no-hitter into the 8th a few weeks ago, like last week versus the A's. I didn't get too excited about that one because the A's are kind of a JV squad. I was actually more encouraged by his latest outing versus Toronto on Saturday. He took the loss, but he went 6 innings, only and gave up 3 runs, 2 of them earned. The boys didn't play that very good D for him, but that kid is turning a corner, and ever since he went down and like got it figured out where he wasn't tipping his pitches, he's been looking good.
And speaking of pitching, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Rick Porcello.
We
Got
sure
his
would.
20th win.
20th win, first Major League 20-game winner.
That's right. It's an incredible season by him.
First Red Sox 20-game winner since Josh Beckett back in 2007. So it's been a while. So yeah, 20-game winners don't come around too often anymore.
No, and I think it's definitely a surprise coming from Porcello.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look. Hanram is scorching right now, and Porcello, you got to wonder if this happened last year, would Ben Cherington still be the general manager of the Boston Red Sox? Because those are 2 guys he brought in, and obviously paying dividends for the 2016 edition of the Boston Red Sox. Is another impressive staff for Porcello, despite him being undefeated at Fenway this year, it was his 9th straight start. His 9th straight start going at least 7 innings and allowing 3 earned runs or fewer. That's the first run of that magnitude for the Red Sox since Pedro in 2000.
Anytime that you're in a stat with Pedro, it's a good stat.
It is. He's the man. 0-4-5. One thing I did want to say about Erod is, he's kind of had some tough luck losses. He's, rolling at 2-7 right now. And in his last 8 starts, the Red Sox have only scored 19 runs for him. So they got to score a little bit more for him. I mean, Ricky P leads the AL in run support. Let's, spread a little of that over to Erod.
It's interesting to me when you watch baseball, and if you watched it for a long time, how there are certain guys as pitchers that they get run support, and it just seems like they're always getting the runs with them. And there's certain guys, and it usually happens to guys with good stuff and whatnot, but they just never get the run support. It's like consistent.
Right.
It's like the guys know that they have such a good pitcher that for some reason it filters into the offensive part of the game somehow.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if there's a way you can actually define that, but I see it.
There must be some advanced sabermetrics.
But sometimes you feel like it happens consistently with certain guys, and maybe it's a season thing with a certain guy or whatnot. But it's interesting how that happens. Like guys get more comfortable, or it's a different. I don't know how it happens like that, but
he definitely got the run support the other night as the Sox won 13-3 in his start in the first game of the series Friday night. Yeah, they've been scoring for him, no doubt about it.
How many games this week did we get double-digit run totals?
I think that was the only one of the week.
There
today,
was 2, right?
Today and Toronto on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the San Diego series,
no, that was low scoring.
That was a pretty low scoring. We beat them 7-2 on Wednesday, 5-1, and then lost a 2-1 when Edwin Jackson pitched like it was 2010 all of a sudden. He's been absolutely garbage this year. He goes 7 innings and strikes out 11. Red Sox. The sole home run, the sole run for the Red Sox on a Chris Young home run. Another guy who's kind of heating up a little bit. That was a home run on his 33rd birthday. So happy birthday, Chris Young, on that one. He's getting it done out there and left. And, so that's still kind of looking platoonish, where he's going to play against lefties.
He hits lefties.
He hits lefties. He rakes them. And he's going so good now, he's going to see some righties. And then Holt will play a lot versus righties. Hopefully, if that shoulder checks out. Another place where there's kind of a platoon situation blossoming is third base. And Aaron Hill's still going to get his share of the lefties out there. And then it was looking a week and a half ago like maybe T. Shaw was going to take a back seat to one Yoan Moncada.
Number 1 prospect in baseball.
Number 1 prospect in baseball. But that's just it, a prospect. Because now that he's up here, they're kind of figuring him out a little bit. He started off pretty hot, but he has struck out 9 consecutive times. That's not good. And that's one thing. He can't hit a breaking ball. So he's got to learn how to, hit a breaking ball. Mm-hmm. And that'll be good. Once he figures that out, kid will be a monster. But he pinch ran on Saturday, and it was like tight game, 3-2 game, pinch runs for Ortiz in the 8th, 2 outs, and Mookie hits a little drooper over the second baseman's head, and he stops halfway from first to second with 2 outs, and is jockeying back and forth. That's terrible.
Yeah,
that can't happen.
That's awareness. You gotta be aware, know the situation.
I'm not physically fit at all.
But
It's why I stayed down for the opening patriotic song, but it wasn't a social thing at all. But I know that you run with 2 outs. Dudes playing softball know that you run with 2 outs. That are running with a beer in their hand. This kid who, like you said, is the number 1 prospect in all of baseball, he's got to know that.
He does.
So Farrell said it was addressed, and I think he said it will continue to be addressed. So that's and maybe it's just a situation where we were too spoiled because our other young rookie call up from about a month ago, Andrew Benintendi, came up, and he just knows all the little things, and it's just very smooth, and actually he's going to be coming back. He's on the horizon. Word is he's going to get some at-bats in a sim game versus Henry Owens, among others, on Tuesday at Fenway. So we'll be looking forward to that because it'd be nice to get him back in the mix. Maybe he could put some heat on Jackie Bradley Jr. because he could play some center maybe versus some lefties and give Jackie a break versus some of the tougher lefties because the kid can't do that. He's, a center fielder by trade. What were you going to say? I felt like I cut you off.
You did not. I was just thinking, there's almost an embarrassment of riches of young talent on Boston Red Sox right now.
It is. It is an embarrassment of riches, but if for some reason the Red Sox can't groom their own pitches. It's odd that I use the word groom because one of the best pitching prospects right now is down the line is Justin Groom. So we'll see. We'll see how he comes out. But if we just have to trade and, pillage off the Marlins and Padres of the year, look for us to get Jose Fernandez in the offseason, then that's what we'll do. And just continue to groom incredible bats like Xander Bogaerts and Mookie Betts. It's just what we'll do. It's just what we'll do.
Did I really get a mention about Jose Fernandez here?
Yeah. Well, Dave Dombrowski's going to do a little pluck in the offseason. Pluck! And then the Red Sox rotation next year will be looking like...
That would be something.
Price, Fernandez.
Who is the number 1 starter right now, by the way?
Ricky P, as good as he's been doing, David Price has been cruising right along. He's been fantastic. And, the transition of him from a thrower to a pitcher is happening right before our eyes. And I know there's a lot of, boo birds out there that say, oh, well, his career in the playoffs is like this. And like he said in his introductory press conference, I'm saving all my wins for the Red Sox. Boom. Boom. And then he will be doing that. But, in a situation where I think I'd like Porcello at Fenway. Obviously, the guy's undefeated this year. So if it's a situation where I would arrange it where Porcello can pitch at Fenway as much as possible.
Let's fast forward a few weeks here.
Okay.
Let's say it's October. Who do we want in the first round playoff series? Would you rather be facing Cleveland and one Terry Francona-led baseball team?
Wow.
With quite a group of pitchers, or would you rather face the Texas Rangers? Because that's what we're looking at.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give my Bill Belichick response on this one. It really doesn't matter. We got one team in mind, and that's the Baltimore Orioles when they come here for 4 coming up this week. All right? That's my true response. Off the record, probably the Rangers, just because Cleveland is I kind of root for Cleveland.
Sure. Well, I figured, yeah.
Because of Tito.
Yeah, of course.
And Mike Napoli. And, they have a little bit of maybe a mystique brewing.
A little it.
Yeah. And I think that Texas, once you get past Darvish and Hamels, they can be had. And I think their bullpen can be had. So I think when you look at Cleveland, they can go 4 deep pitching-wise. And Andrew Miller, and the way Tito uses Andrew Miller, it's like I've been chomping at the bit for years now, and to anybody who listen, to get the the save stat out of baseball and just make everything holds. So it's like it's the best facing the best. You know, it's like on Saturday when they didn't bring on Osuna and they had Jason Grilli come pitch the 8th, and we had Bogarts, Poppy, and Betts up. I was licking my chops. I was like, we're going to win this. But Grilli's reborn for some reason. I don't know. It's crazy. But you know who Poppy hit that home run off today was Joaquin Benoit, who hasn't given up a home run. Hasn't given up a run since joining the Blue Jays till today. You know, oddly enough, he's been pretty effective for them. And oddly enough, that's the second career home run of David Ortiz off of him. The first one, the game-tying grand slam in the 013 ALCS. You may remember that when the right fielder went ass over tea kettle and the cop was like this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Woo! What a game. What a game. So, yeah, looking ahead, full slate of games this week. We are in the friendly confines of Fenway Park.
That's right, 7 games at home.
That's right. So we got 4 versus Baltimore.
I think is it 4 with Baltimore or 3 with Baltimore, 4 with the Yankees?
Let's take a look here, Michael. And you're right. You were right. It is 3 with Baltimore and then 4 with the Yankees. Coincidentally, the last game with the Yankees will be the Sunday night game, 8 p.m. ESPN. So we'll be on an hour later next week, midnight-ish Eastern. So just remember that.
And so far, the Red Sox...
You'll be at the Emmys.
I will. Trying to see the hottest people in real life. The Red Sox are 7-5 this year against the Yankees, 4-6 against Baltimore. So which is the tougher matchup this week for the squad?
Well, I mean, the Yankees are scorching right now.
They are.
So I'm hoping they can maybe cool off a little bit in the first half of this week before they come into town. Baltimore, you know, they've really, you know, been holding their starting rotation together with, you know, Scotch tape and bubble gum, you know, all this year. And Tillman's a little dinged up, but he's coming back. But like Gossman is finally kind of reaching his potential for them. Dylan Bundy, you know, the former like number 1 overall pick, he's starting to like kind of come into his own a little bit there too. They'll get to see old friend Wade Miley coming up on Monday versus Drew Pomerantz. Then they'll get Bundy versus Price on Tuesday, and Porcello on the Wednesday night baseball game versus the aforementioned Kevin Gausman.
You'd like to see the Red Sox win the series against Baltimore for sure, especially using David Price and Rick Porcello in the series.
Oh, yeah. So you got to take 2 out of 3 from them.
Also, because if you don't take 2 out of 3, that means that Baltimore is at least going to close to 1 game before Boston heads to New York or faces New York.
It's true.
For 4. And I think right now, with the way that the Yankees have been playing with this new bunch of young players in the lineup, that if you can get a split with the Yankees, that wouldn't be great. You'd like to go 3-1, but if you win the series with Baltimore and you get the split with the Yankees, you probably hold serve, and that would be a solid week if you go, let's say, 5-3. You'd like to go 4-3. Okay, that's right. Sorry, 4-3. But
I'm pulling for 5-2.
I agreed. 5-2.
You know, you want to win every series. Keep doing it.
Absolutely.
2 out of 3 from Baltimore.
4-game series are tough, especially when you're with a rival. But yeah, you'd definitely like to see a 5-2 week. That would be nice. But it's just an exciting time of the year for sure.
Let's just take a quick look at the pitching matchups in that series. You'll have Erod going against Tanaka, who's been great for them.
Who has been resurgent.
Yes, it's pretty incredible. That'll be Thursday. Friday, Clay Buchholz get another chance versus some kid Sessa that I have no.
Sessa, yeah.
Okay, and then who's Mitchell?
Brian Mitchell, another young. I mean, the Yankees are pitching all young guys. Everything
crazy. He'll go against Pomerantz, and then Price will come back again. Versus CC Sabathia. What a matchup that would be in 2009.
I think the most exciting thing about the that series that's coming up at the end of the week between the Red Sox and the Yankees is just that we're starting to get into a new era of Red Sox-Yankees baseball where the rivalry really has died down over the last few years, but it may start to kick up again with the Red Sox fully young now and the Yankees quickly turning into a younger team. It's happened overnight for New York.
I know.
And so it'll be interesting to see this this series just with the young guys on both sides, and now that it surprisingly will mean something for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, you got to hand it to Cashman. He really did great at the deadline, and getting rid of Chapman and Miller made him, he had probably one of the worst 10 farm systems in all of baseball, and now he's got probably one of the top 5, just from 2 trades.
And the surprising thing about the farm system thing is that was beauty, and then somehow it looks like New York is playing meaningful baseball with a bunch of young guys. I mean, they cast off Alex Rodriguez. They got rid of. They're not playing Teixeira as much, and so you wouldn't have expected New York to even be competitive. And
that kid Gary Sanchez is going off. He was the August AL Player of the Month. We were thinking Mookie had a pretty good August. He was July, so I think they're trying to spread it around a little bit, and not just they figure he'll be the MVP hardware at the end of the year.
That's right. So that'll be at the end of the week. So tell us. You told us about the Dustin Pedroia hit streak. It reached 29.
Mm-hmm.
Someone guessed.
He broke it. Somebody had 27.
Someone guessed who it was.
Yeah, that's our boy Star Drew.
Is he right?
And when in doubt, who do you guess? You guess the Suspended Splinter Teddy ball game, obviously.
Legend.
But it wasn't him. It was actually, and why no social media was a hint, was Jerry Remy.
Ooh.
It was Jerry Remy.
Legendary broadcaster for the San Diego Padres.
Wow, that's Don Oscilla you're thinking of,
Oh.
you jerk. Jerry Remy, still doing both Sox games, although not as many as we would like.
I wonder why.
It's pretty bad. I don't know why. I wish I knew why. Nesson's doing I think they just don't want people to enjoy watching a baseball game anymore.
I'll tell you when we're done with the show.
Okay. It was good to see old friend Don Orsillo, who came out and at the tribute to Big Papi and gave him the surfboard. And,
I miss Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy together.
So good.
They were
just such a great pair.
Perfect.
And I guess they were just too perfect. Nesson had to get rid of them. I mean, it's really sad.
Mm-hmm. They were.
Jerry isn't the felon. It's his kid. Why should he pay?
Well.
Why should we all pay? It's craziness.
Well, there it is.
Oh, boy. I'll tell you.
All right. Seems like it's a good time to
you think? Good time?
tell you we'll see you guys next week.
You think? Is there anything you want to say before we
It's been
take
a
off?
blast. Get a social media. Get a Twitter handle.
Come on now.
And the worst of luck this week.
But it was Jerry Remy. That's good. So remember, gang, we are on 1 hour later next week, so just be advised of that. If you haven't had enough of the handsome and eloquent Michael Rippe, he'll be coming up very shortly on Dodgers Rap 360. Check
Can't
him
get
out
enough
on
baseball. That's right. Let's do it. We're going to talk about the Dodgers next.
You can't. We'll do that. But, gang, thanks for tuning in. For Mike Rippe, I am Mike Conley. This has been another edition of Red Sox Rap 360. Go Sox. Thanks for tuning in, gang.
Thank you. God bless America.
God bless.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.